Stiffelio. Libretto by Francesco Maria Piave. First performance on the 16th of November 1850 at the Teatro Grande, Trieste. Verdi wrote to the publisher Ricordi concerning the censorship problems arising from the delicate subject of Stiffelio, in which a Protestant minister's wife commits adultery. If Stiffelio must absolutely be given, the censors must convince themselves that the libretto contains nothing contrary to politics or religion. They should leave the libretto as it is planned, with all the text and staging that belongs with it. Nothing should be changed, nothing emasculated, and everybody should put his best into it. Otherwise, I cannot permit Stiffelio to be given. The beginning of the 19th century. Count Stankar's castle in Germany, on the banks of the river Salzbach. The Protestant minister Stiffelio, who had fled from religious persecution, returns to the castle of his father-in-law, Count Stankar. Stiffelio tells the story of a woman and a man, presumed lovers, who were seen at dawn by a boatman having a passionate conversation. Lina, Stiffelio's wife, and Raffaele realize immediately that they are the two lovers in the story. Lina wants to confess everything to Stiffelio, but her father, Count Stankar, stops her. Stiffelio is consumed by suspicion. Meanwhile, Count Stankar encounters Raffaele and challenges him to a duel at the cemetery. Lina is at the cemetery. On her mother's grave, she asks to be forgiven for her sins. Raffaele reaches her, and once again, he pledges his love for her.
Lina, Lina,
Count Stankar finds the two lovers and starts to fight with Raffaele. Stiffelio arrives and attempts to separate the two rivals. Stiffelio would like to seek revenge, but his duty is to grant forgiveness. By this point, the protagonist is overcome by his personal tragedy. Here, Verdi defines a voice character, the dramatic tenor, that would have its high point in the yet-to-come Otello. Stiffelio wants to get divorced from Lina. She admits her sins and, despairing, accepts divorce, but confesses that she never loved Raffaele and that she has been used by him. The cor anglais melody expresses the culmination of pathos in this scene. Stiffelio considers taking revenge, but it turns out that Count Stanka has already killed Raffaele. During the church service, Stiffelio reads the adulterous woman passage from the Gospel of St. John. Stiffelio recognizes his situation in the words of the Holy Bible and forgives his wife. Stiffelio has a dramatic drive and force that was ideal to continue the path that Verdi had undertaken with Luisa Miller. The human impulses and weaknesses are concentrated in a single character, who gives way to jealousy and the desire for revenge. But since Stiffelio is a minister of religion, such passion, caused by a spouse's betrayal, could not possibly be accepted by the censors. Moreover, for the first time, Verdi decided to set the opera in the modern day and leave out any filter created by time or history. The only occasion when he had the courage to do this again was a few years later, with the scandalous La Traviata. However, as is always the case with revolutions, there was a price to pay. The opera suffered an odyssey, at the end of which Stiffelio was no longer Stiffelio. Following the premiere in Trieste, the opera was staged in Rome and Naples, with the German Minister of State, Guglielmo Vellingrode, in the place of the Minister of Religion, Stiffelio. Finally, tired of the continuous adjustments, Verdi changed the character entirely. And for the performance at the Teatro Nuovo in Rimini, as much as 7 years later, he became the crusader Aroldo. In the classification of Verdi's most performed operas in the world, Stiffelio comes in 19th place. In the classification of the most performed operas in the world, Stiffelio comes in 303rd place.